Hello, welcome to my channel. I'm All Things Wrestling, and today I'm going to be giving my thoughts on WWE Raw 6th of March 2017. It's the first show after Fastlane and the proper build to WrestleMania. And oh my god, this show was good. Surprisingly, Raw is actually decent again. I enjoyed this. Anyway, we start with Chris Jericho making his way to the ring. He said, "This is the birthplace of Y2J. Tonight is the site of the resurrection of Chris Jericho. That is because last night at Fastlane, he screwed Kevin Owens at the Universal title. He said KO had it coming because Kevin betrayed him at the Festival of Friendship. It still hurts. Kevin turned on him and ripped his heart out. He took a knife and stabbed Jericho in the back. He said it hurt. Chris said he's angry and confused. Chris said he wanted to know why. Kevin did, so he wants Kevin to come out man to man to answer the question, why?" He's babyface again, by the way, which is amazing. I love babyface Jericho. Kevin Owens' music plays and he makes his way onto the stage. Kevin says, "After what you did last night, Chris thinks he's going to get an answer he is seeking." Chris yells, "Quiet! Just answer the question, Kevin. Why would a guy he trusted for 8 months betray him? Why did he stab his best friend in the back?" Chris says he has been at home in the hospital for 3 weeks. Kevin said he would give Chris an answer. He said he did not stab his best friend in the back because Chris was never his best friend. He says his best friend at one time was Sami Zayn. He stabbed him in the back and he'd do it again and again. Kevin says Chris was a tool. He used Chris the night he became the Universal Champion. Triple H told him that everyone is coming for him and he better watch his back. Kevin said he needed someone to have his back and someone who had experience being there. He needed someone who was gullible. Kevin said Chris was the perfect tool until you outlived your usefulness. It was as soon as you accepted the match with Goldberg that you became a burden and had to get rid of him. Kevin said he knows what he would have done to beat Goldberg if it wasn't for Jericho. Kevin says if he's man enough to admit that Chris outsmarted him last night. Kevin says what he did at the Festival of Friendship is that he spared Chris. He could have made sure Chris could never walk again. Kevin says he let Chris walk away because of Chris's family. Kevin said that was the biggest mistake of his career. Kevin said the biggest mistake of Chris's career was costing Kevin the title. Chris said the biggest mistake of his career was trusting Kevin. He said he would have done what Kevin did if this was 10 years ago. Chris liked the idea of having a best friend. Chris said he does not want Kevin to be his best friend. He says he has thousands of friends tonight. Chris says what he did last night was not the end, it's just the beginning. What started last night at Fastlane is a long and windy road that leads to Kevin Owens versus Chris Jericho at WrestleMania. Chris says the fans like that, but Kevin does not care about the fans. Kevin says after last night, you might think all he wants is a Universal title, but he is a rematch when he wants it. When you took the title from him, Kevin says all he's been thinking about is taking Chris's title from him. If you want a match at WrestleMania, you put the US title on the line. Chris goes, okay. Literally instantly agrees. He says, "Why not wait till WrestleMania? Let's get on tonight." He wants to know what's stopping Kevin, and Kevin says nothing. Kevin goes to the ring. They exchange punches. Samoa Joe attacks from behind. Gets 2-on-1 assault from Owens and Joe. With Zayn's music plays, he comes into the ring with a chair, hits Joe with a chair. Owens stops Zayn, and Joe and Owens attack Zayn. Chris Jericho manages to get the chair, hits Owens and Joe, and them two are standing tall in the ring as Joe and Owens retreat. Wow, what an opening segment. It was amazing. Which I'm surprised this didn't lead to a tag team match. It led to 2 single matches, which is surprising. First one, Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn, because apparently that last rivalry match was a load of shit. Good match nonetheless. These two really do work well together. We join the match in progress, and Owens and Zayn with punches. The finish, Owens with a kick, but Zayn with a drop kick to counter the pop-up powerbomb. The referee stops Zayn from going after Owens. Zayn then leaps over the referee with a flip dive. Zayn sends Owens back into the ring. Owens with a pop-up powerbomb. Then Owens punches Zayn in the head and hits a flip leg drop to the back of the head. Owens with a wrist clutch net breaker. Owens with another pop-up powerbomb and gets the 3 count. It was a fairly good match. I enjoyed it, to be fair. I don't know why you'd mark it as a last match if you're planning to do more. But what are you going to do? Apparently we all have short-term memory loss. Then we go to match 2. Rich Swann versus Neville for the Cruiserweight Championship. Swann goes up top and then misses the Phoenix Splash. Neville will roll up, but then he applies the Rings of Saturn and forces Swann to tap out. Good match. Standard Cruiserweight stuff. I enjoyed it. Nowhere near good as Gallagher Neville, but I don't think anything's going to come close to that until we have Austin, Aries and Neville at WrestleMania. After the match, Austin Aries interviews Neville in the ring. Neville is asked how does he feel to be still on top of the mountain. Neville says he's done exactly what he said he would do. All of you who have doubted him, overlooked him, and look at him now. Neville says he had laid waste to pretender after pretender, and there's nobody on 205 Live who can hold a candle to the king of the cruiserweights. Aries asks Neville if there's anyone on his level who is competition. Neville says nobody. The crowd starts chanting for Austin Aries, and Aries said that WWE might disagree with him. Neville says that Aries can't be seriously consider himself. He says that Aries is delusional if he thinks he's close to being on Neville's level. So that's weird to say. Neville says he's running out of patience with Aries, and he tells him to go back to the dinner table to make cheap jokes to entertain the WWE Universe. Neville says he is in the ring, and he tells Aries to leave before he re-breaks his orbital socket. Aries says he's doing his job. Neville says Aries, what is he going to do about it if he doesn't like it? Aries says he has a statement for Neville and hits Neville with a microphone. Then he hits a rolling elbow, knocking Neville out of the ring. It was good. I'm going to be honest. I enjoyed that segment. Their feud's building now. Thank God. Gallagher can't drop too much. He needs to stay near the top at the minute. Then Enzo and Cass are backstage talking about their match tonight. They stop and see Cesaro and Sheamus. Sheamus points out Enzo and Cass choked when they had the chance to win the titles. Colin said they will win the tag team titles. Cesaro said they will watch the match. It was a meh exchange. Not really high on this whole tag team division at the minute. Let's hope they can improve it. Then we are back and Goldberg's music plays and he makes his way through the back into the ring. Goldberg holds the title and he says the title belongs to you just as much as it belongs to him. Goldberg says he could not have done it without you. Tonight he stands in front of you, a very humbled man as the new WWE Universal Champion. It gives him the opportunity to divulge some information he never thought he would make public. Paul Heyman then interrupts him, makes his way to the stage. Paul introduces himself and then says he's not man enough to go in the ring and offer a handshake to congratulate the Universal Champion. Paul says his hand is not the hand that should be shaking Mr. Goldberg. In congratulations, Paul says he has not come here tonight alone. He is here as the advocate for a man who faces Goldberg April 2nd. And then he brings out Brock Lesnar. They walk to the ring and circle it. Lesnar gets in the ring and gets in Goldberg's face. Paul introduces Brock to Goldberg and Goldberg to Brock in a very proud moment. Paul says his client came here to shake Goldberg's hand. I'm going to stop doing that now. Sorry, it's getting pretty annoying for me. For becoming the new Universal Champion, he said Goldberg must be ecstatic for beating Kevin Owens last night. Paul said the only person that could be happier than Goldberg is the champion is his client. Paul says Goldberg has proven he's much of a beast as Brock Lesnar. He said that Goldberg proved that he is a conqueror as much as Brock Lesnar. On April 2nd, two men walk into the ring, but only one man can leave as the winner. The other will walk out the ring as a loser. Paul said he does not make predictions, he makes spoilers. Paul said at the end of the match there'll be a new reigning and defending undisputed Universal Champion. His name will be Brock Lesnar. That means when the match is over, they can look over you and say, there he is, Brock's a bitch. Brock then pulls his hand and gives Goldberg an F5. Goldberg has finally took a fucking move. Oh my god, it's taken... Oh, actually, in match terms, it's been like 108 seconds. Fucking hell. Yeah, he's actually finally taken a move. So, let's see whether we go with this. I enjoyed the segment. It was really, really good. Building that hype. I don't think it needed the Universal title, but we're here now, so let's just move on. Then we are back with Enzo and Cass making their way to the ring. They do the usual entrance. Enzo says last night they were dubbed the Milwaukee Shoe Job because he should be saying that they are the champions. The night is still young. Colin said they will walk out Chicago with championship gold. Enzo and Cass versus Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows for the WWE Raw Tag Team Championships. Why a rematch? I don't know. Cesaro and Sheamus do make their way to ringside to watch the match. Enzo sends Gallows to the floor. Enzo with the suicide dive. Enzo's dancing around and calls Cesaro to spill his coffee. Cesaro goes in after Enzo, clotheslines Anderson, and the referee calls for the bell. After the match, all 6 men are battling in the ring. Colin with a boot to Anderson. Then Sheamus knocks Colin off the apron. Cesaro clotheslines Gallows over the top rope. Enzo gets Cesaro on Cesaro's back and Sheamus with a bro kick. It was alright. So, we've been told there's gonna... Oh wait, no, we'll wait till that's more relevant. It's time to announce the new Hall of Fame entrant, Rick Rude. Thank you for spoiling my newsroom there. I will elaborate on this on the newsroom, but congratulations, Rick Rude. We are back, and the official Mick Foley holds Enzo, Cass, Jameson. Sorry, he says they'll meet next week, and the winners will face Gallows and Anderson at WrestleMania. He says hopefully I can have a nice day. That basically means they're going to still have the triple threat, aren't they? Something's going to happen. Stephanie McMahon stops by after the dust clears. Stephanie tells Mick to follow her to her office right now if he wants to have a nice day. It was alright segment. Then we have Akira Tozawa versus Daivari. Daivari with a kick, but Tozawa escapes a suplex and hits a snap German suplex for the 3 count. Pretty quick match, but it was alright. After the match, Akira Tozawa tells Brian Kendrick to come out and he will fight him face to face right now. Brian Kendrick comes out stage. Brian says after all of this, you still want to fight Brian Kendrick. He tells Tozawa he will have an answer tomorrow night. Lesson number 5, be careful what you wish for. Good segment. I do enjoy their rivalry. I want to see how it goes. Then we are back and the New Day make their way onto the stage with their magic umbrella and ice cream cart. Xavier says for those who of you missed it, he wants to introduce everyone to their New Day pop cycle. Kofi asks who is this pop cycle represents. He says it's for the WWE Universe and their ice cream dreams. Big E says they are now qualified to host a number of events. They can host brisks or something, I don't know. Some Mexican celebration. Sorry, I don't really know many pronunciations for them words, so I don't want to get it wrong. Then they have a match against the Shining Stars. Epico and Primo go after the cop, but Big E clotheslines Epico and Kofi with a plancha to Primo. Big E tags in and hit the Midnight Hour on Primo for the 3 count. Fairly standard. I'm liking the ice cream stuff though. I'm liking that. I like when they're comedians, so that's pretty good. Then Mick Foley's in the ring and he brings out Bayley. Mick congratulates Bayley on her win. Bayley says it's 24 hours later and she wishes she could call herself a champion. She asked Charlotte to keep Dana in the back and see which one of them was best. Then we saw what Slasher did. Bayley said she needs to move forward and move towards WrestleMania. Growing up, she yearned to... her year started with WrestleMania. Last year, she saw 3 of her friends wrestle for this title at WrestleMania. Bayley vowed to be on WrestleMania. Bayley says this does not feel right. Mick says it doesn't matter how you got there, but you are going to WrestleMania. Mick says the question is who will Bayley's opponent be. Sasha's music plays and she comes out. She says we know even if Dana was being sent to the back, you know she wasn't going to stay in the back. Sasha said they always talked about tearing the house down and the greatest show of them all. Sasha suggests they meet for the title. Mick says that sounds like a match. Mick wants to set some feeling from the people of Chicago. Before Mick can make the match, Charlotte Fair's music playing. She comes out with Dana Brooke. Charlotte says the plans become crystal clear. You knew you would not get another title opportunity against her. You didn't think Bayley was good enough to beat her. You used Bayley and pretended that Bayley was your friend. It worked. Charlotte said she is a victim in this conspiracy. Charlotte said she was robbed of her title in the pay-per-view streak. Charlotte said Mick doesn't care as long as your 2 favourite daughters are going to WrestleMania. Mick said Charlotte lost her rematch and she was robbed. Stephanie's music played and she says Mick is not the boss, Sasha is not the boss. Stephanie said she is the boss. Stephanie said Charlotte's right. Sasha is the most manipulative person in the locker room. She is trying to get a title match from Bayley. Stephanie says Bayley would not be champion if not for Sasha's interference twice. She said the person who deserves the title match is the woman who was robbed for it Charlotte Flair. I would like to mention this. Stephanie acknowledged the CM Punk's chants and actually went, yeah, you wish it was CM Punk. She actually said his name and acknowledged it live on TV. Rock tried to call him off TV. Stephanie said his name on TV in Chicago. Dubious. Mick is interrupted by Stephanie and she said the match is official. Charlotte will face Bayley for the title. Mick said you cannot leave the boss out of the match. Mick says Sasha deserves the shot. Next week Charlotte should face Sasha and then when they face Bayley at WrestleMania. Stephanie likes the idea Sasha can earn her way into the match at WrestleMania. If Sasha wins, the match will be a triple threat match. Sasha will face Bayley and that match will happen right now. We then go to that match. Bayley versus Sasha in a in that match. Sasha with a lung blower and then she floats over into the bank statements. Dana gets on the apron and Charlotte tries to interfere. Sasha kicks Charlotte and they roll over to the centre of the ring and Bayley taps out. Making your champion tap out. Not looking very strong. Maybe she's going to look strong at WrestleMania. It was a fairly good match. I don't think it needed to happen now. We could have waited for this kind of match. But okay. After the match, Charlotte with boot to Sasha and then a boot to Bayley. Charlotte takes a start and puts it in between Sasha and Bayley. It was good. Good segment. Good promo. Everything was really good. Then we were back. Roman Reigns in the back and he's asked about Braun Strowman saying he will finish what he started. Roman said he'll be in the centre of that ring if Strowman wants to find him. Alright. Fuck off, Roman. We take a look at the rehab of Seth Rollins is going through and get ready to return to the ring. Seth said he will be at WrestleMania. They said that Seth is rehabbing 3 times a day. He said, if you're comfortable in therapy, you're not working hard enough. He says he's dedicated his life to WWE and he has nothing to do than get back for WrestleMania. Seth says he wants it more than anybody else. And then Michael Cole interviews Triple H via satellite. Cole says asks Hunter about the video package and his promise to be at WrestleMania. Hunter says you have to give it up to the WWE for the care they provide to their superstars. He's in Chicago, where CM Punk is from, and he's mentioning about the world-class medical care. That's a big fuck you to CM Punk right there, guys. It was pretty funny. Hunter, he said the WWE spares no expense when it comes to care and welfare talent. He said Seth needs to listen to these experts. Last week, when Seth said he'll be at WrestleMania, he thought it was ignorance, but when the top doctor tells him not to go, this is stupidity. Hunter says that Seth has been lying for years. Hunter says other people call him the cerebral assassin of the game or the king of kings, but Seth calls himself the man. He said this is the lie and the farthest thing from the truth. At WrestleMania, this is where dreams come true. Seth's dream is to be the man. If he shows up at WrestleMania against Doug Stewart and calls him out, it'll be a nightmare. Hunter says what he says last week will happen. It'll be the last thing you ever do in a WWE ring. Good promo. I'm liking seeing Triple H a bit. It is very entertaining. Then we have our last main event match. Samoa Joe versus Chris Jericho. Jericho with the springboard drop kick. Joe is knocked to the floor. Jericho goes for a baseball slide. Joe grabs Jericho and applies a clean clutch. Referee makes his count. Joe gets back in the ring and Jericho's count out. So it didn't make Jericho looked particularly weak because he got choked out. And Joe still looks strong, so it did alright. After the match, Joe sent Jericho back into the ring and Jericho with a co-breaker. There you go. There, Chris Jericho now gets his momentum back and Joe doesn't really lose any because he won the match. Fair point. It was really good. Then Braun Strowman makes his way to the ring. Braun wants Roman Reigns. And he says Roman got lucky last night. He said your luck runs out tonight. He says he does not want or need a match. He wants Roman to come out like a man so he can rip him apart limb by limb. Braun says Chicago don't like you and neither does he. He tells Roman to come out right now. Roman's music plays and he is interrupted by a gong and darkness. The Undertaker appears on the stage and he makes his way to the ring. Strowman leaves the ring and then Roman Reigns' music plays. And he makes his way onto the stage. He got the worst amount of boos ever there. And then to the ring. Roman enters the ring and they circle each other. Roman says Braun was not calling out Taker. He was calling Roman out. He tells Taker with all due respect, this is his yard now. More boos. Taker looks at Roman, and then Taker looks at WrestleMania sign, and so does Roman. Taker grabs Roman by the throat, chokeslams him, and the Undertaker leaves. Bad ass. It was amazing. The Undertaker is so good, and he beat Roman up. Roman wasn't recovering. He was literally just lying there when we went off. That never happens. Jesus, it was great. I enjoyed every second of it. But that was one hell of an episode of Raw. I give him that. The Goldberg segment, the Jericho segment, the match, a couple of matches. Most of the matches were good. Cruiserweights are good. This end segment was great. Overall, it felt like a Raw after a pay-per-view. It felt big leading up to the next pay-per-view. It felt Road to WrestleMania worthy, this show. It was great. I enjoyed every second of it. I hope you've enjoyed this episode anyway. Please leave a like if you have. Subscribe to more content, and I'll catch you later.